This here is Backwoods Billy coming to you from the beautiful Delmarva Eastern Shore where it is freaking windy and cold, supposedly spring. And this here is my special guest judge, Mr. Dewey. Doo-Doo is actually 24 years old and 24 consecutive years, not dog years. So he's a little over 3 now. He's actually 24 years old. So he's Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix. He has a trip. You can see he's already been in the weeds. Anyway, we're going to come to you today about Flying Dog's Dead Rise Old Bay Summer Ale. I've seen some reviews about this which are bullshit. Flying Dog worked very closely with Old Bay on this. This became such a big seller that they literally had to run the production line 24/7 just to produce one beer, this beer, to keep up with demand when they did it. Now this is very successful with them, Old Bay, and basically Old Bay is a crab spice. Those are not familiar with it, people that are maybe Louisiana understand Cajun spices. Similar, not as much garlic or salt, a little more celery and a little more pepper. That's the spice in it. However, when they brewed this and working with McCormick, who actually owns not only Old Bay but what's in Y River, there's a bunch of McCormick spice, McCormick seeds. Anyway, they make a lot of them. We like Krabby Joe's, I don't know who makes that, which has a brown sugar in it. You can also do that yourself. And also use a lot of Phillips. Phillips more show with seafood. It's more peppery and less salt. When they did this, this is not Old Bay crab season. Just like when you get Old Bay popcorn and crab season popcorn, Ocean City, Maryland tourist trap. It's won awards in big magazines. There's no salt in it, or very little, I should say. It's mainly the seasoning. It's 5.6% alcohol by volume. Now this is really meant to be drank with seafood, which I find ironic is, as anybody see my Natty Bear review, National Bohemian Beer, which is Bohemian style Pilsner, which is a lager, which you can buy for 50 cents a can roughly. A 30 pack costs you about 15 bucks. Started this years ago when they were in Baltimore. They were the #2 brewer in the country, and to this day, the Pabst took them over, which is owned by Miller's Coors, and brews it and sponsors the Ravens and Orioles with it. But anyway, that aside, they had a thing on their bottles and cans years ago to take and rim your glass with Old Bay, so like a Bloody Mary. And the idea was that you would get the Old Bay taste with your crab. So that's kind of where this comes from. Now, I'm going to read something to you about this. 5.6% alcohol by volume. It says, skillful in shallow waters, yet adapt when it becomes deep and rough. Dead Rise boats are specifically crafted to navigate the unique waterways of the Chesapeake. Our Dead Rise, a summer ale with Old Bay, was brewed to support True Blue, a groundbreaking initiative to support the Maryland blue crab industry. So you can go to marylandseafood.org, oldbay.com, and flyingdogbrewery.com, flyingdogbrewery.com, and it's Dead Rise Old Bay Summer Ale, and it's brewed with real spices. So obviously you're going to want to, you get down about an inch in the bottle, you're going to want to swish it around, half an inch to an inch, swish it around, and a real pop top, and the thing again, a logo. So it's make a button, a magnet, any kind of craft. You can put it, like I put them around the fire pit on the outside. We have bricks lined up around the outside of it. It gives decoration of craft beer. But anyway, here we go with the pour. Now I chose a traditional mug for this, even though you could technically use a traditional American style glass. It doesn't really matter with this. The reason I did this is because most people eat this with steamed crabs, steamed mussels, steamed shrimp, and the idea the hand on the glass makes it easier to grip. You're not going to slip. Crabs typically have a lot of seasoning on the outside, and you have it on your hands. As you can see, the color of this, which is about time, right, Doo-Doo? The color of this, which he likes, is a deep golden color.
Ooh, it's just showing white on there. Bring it down a bit. There you go.
Like almost a light apricot, deep golden. And we've got a nice light, probably 3/4 inch fluffy white head on it. Now if I wanted more head, I could just elevate the pour. And I smell doughy, crackery, and a lot of like Old Bay spice. Peppery, a little bit of celery. And you get the the red pepper, the black pepper. That's kind of the spicy. Also, there's a little bit of garlic in Old Bay. You don't really get the garlic in this, but and when the taste of this, it's like a golden ale with crab seasoning without the salt. There is a little salt in it, but it's not overly salty. Now I will say this. This is a very successful beer, especially in Maryland. I mean, they started to distribute it everywhere. And what happened was it became so successful in Maryland where this brewed in Flying Dogs in Frederick. And my wife and I did a tour at their brewery. Awesome tour, very educational. And sort of like the article in here, the brewery is modern. They spun a lot of people off with their own breweries. The only thing I would say negative about it is that not them, but the county only allows you to buy 1 6-pack a person. So we had to each get a 6-pack of beer. She doesn't drink beer, so I could get 2 6-packs at the brewery tour. So, but you go to the tour. I think it's like $5 for the tour, and you get 5 drinks. So it's well worth it. Anybody that's going to go anywhere near Frederick, Maryland, anybody near Pennsylvania or Maryland, it's a good brewery tour. Very educational. They actually let you taste the different. If you want to taste the hops, pellets, you can. Pretty interesting tour. You can taste the wort at the beer different stages. They have a tasting that you can see what it tastes like, and they show their lab and everything. So it's really cool. Anyway, nice artwork, I think. In my opinion, it's just 2 thumbs up. Because of the fact that we're in Maryland and crabs are so big, and we're near Crisfield, Maryland. Here, our dog's going off. The crab capital of the world. Steamed crabs are huge down here. We like our steamed crabs, steamed shrimp, oysters, mussels, a lot of seafood. This would go very well also with hamburgers, steak, anything more spicy like that. To me, this is a beer that really should be drank with food. In other words, it's not something you're going to drink more than 2 of by itself because it's the spice in it. That's just my opinion. There's not any type of salty aftertaste with this. You could drink it alone. There's a slight bit of salt, but nowhere near the salt content of Old Bay. So the beer is not salty. I've heard people say it's salty, and it's not. They work with Old Bay for this for a while. And anybody that's ever had McDonald's fish things, they have an Old Bay sauce. It would be similar to that minus the relish they stick in there. So if you haven't had Old Bay. Well worth the money. It's like $9.99 a 6-pack, $10.99 a 6-pack. Very rare to get for $8.99. And you typically see it around spring through summer, and you might bring it to the fall. That's about it. Anywhere you go, it sells out. And this is a beer that I happen to like. We have steamed crabs. This is one of the beers that there's a few I'll drink with it. This is one of the beers I like with that. I like it a lot with fried oysters. How many of you say I have, what, about maybe 2 of these at the most? I mean, a third one that I'll actually have without eating something with it.
Maybe 2.
So I mean, that's just my opinion of it. The mouthfeel on this is going to be on the light side, but the heavier side of light, almost approaching medium. And again, when you get to a little further down in here, you would just swirl the bottle like this, and then you would pour the remaining beer in. As you can see, you'll get the spices. Anything that's left in the bottom spice-wise will actually pour in the beer, and the beer becomes a little bit cloudier as more spices are introduced to it. Every taste is average. Lacing is, okay. The taste is, in my opinion, good. It hits everything it's supposed to hit. It's a backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. This is a beer that I drink when we have seafood, occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally. It's a beer that I happen to like, and it's worth a try. Some of the reviews on it, I can tell the people never tried it because they said they tasted salt. There's no salt. There's what was the Glamour, Vogue, all these big magazines came in and got, was it Fisher's Popcorn? They rated it the best popcorn, a ton of them, in Ocean City, Maryland, and they have a crab spice popcorn. Very, very little salt. No difference in regular popcorn for the salt. They have a caramel popcorn you can get with the crab spice. They also, what's the one you like, the cheddar?
Dusted cheddar.
Yeah, they have, so they don't like the regular popcorn. They make everything there fresh.
Caramel
so you go
Dove,
there,
dusted cheddar.
Yeah, dusted cheddar. So they'll have caramel and they'll coat it with the cheddar cheese. So they have, and they even have a Old Bay one. I think they're coated with cheese now, don't they? Or am I wrong?
No, it's caramel with Old Bay.
No, we get the caramel Old Bay. We got the caramel cheese. Did they do it just for us? Put the cheese on it. We got it one time that way, or no?
I don't remember.
I think we had to do it. But anyway, when you go, it's the one we go to. So there's a bunch of Fisher popcorns. You can buy some in some of the grocery stores in Maryland. But in Ocean City, the one right outside of Rehoboth, right in Fenwick, right past Ocean City in Fenwick. you can go there. I mean, it's standing room only. You go to order it. Awesome popcorn. Again, this is another thing that when a couple years, like 2 years ago, they came out with this on the 75th anniversary of Old Bay. So it was kind of like that. Part of the proceeds support the crab population in Maryland. And this is kind of an interesting logo because it's actually kind of like a clam shell for the crab versus the crab body. Crabs don't really look like this. They come up, if you don't know what it looks like, but close. Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. And dude, let me ask you, hold on, show you something before we go in here. Mr. Doodoo. As you can see, Dewey, who is 24 years old, people, not 3 years, 24 years old, likes his beer. And let me tell you something, if don't he hit my hand and make me spill beer, he will knock a beer over if it's near him and drink it. So this is not something that I've encouraged with him. He does it by himself. He's
2 balls up, dude.
2 paws up, 2 paws up. And how many he walks over? Like he walks to the end of the drive, about 1,000 feet up to a clearing. The stops was just so many ticks, but and back down the other one a couple hundred feet. I'm just saying he walks a lot every day, several times a day. He's very quick if he wants to be quick, and the only thing that he had a stroke a while back, other than that, he's healthy as a horse, isn't he? It's mud and everything else he's not supposed to do. That yells at him like he's 24 years old. I mean, obviously what he's done has worked for him. But anyway, Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. Get you a 6-pack today. It's in the price category of most. You see, there's the thing, Flying Dog, FLYNG-DOG Brewery, BREWERY.com. And they're in Frederick, Maryland again. And the tour is good for $5. Nothing there is overpriced. You get 5 tokens. You get a real size beer, not a bullshit shot. And that tour trap Ocean City to one place OC. $10 for a tour, bullshit.
Quality's getting a little bad because the sun's coming out in the angle.
So it is. It's just like I said. Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. 5.6% alcohol by volume. Well worth the money. To me, it's not so we sit there and drink a 6-pack, but it's refreshing. The summer's coming up. Seafood's here. Rock and roll with this.